Hello everybody, welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Welcome to Saturday. Today, Patron's Pick is for Ham Radio Deluxe. We're going to talk about some of the great features, as well as getting you up and running quickly on using a kind of all-in-one ham radio application. So stand by, enjoy the memes, and we'll get started real soon. How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks for coming on back here to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Appreciate you. So we have a special guest. We have Dr. Michael from Ham Radio Deluxe, and he's going to be showing off some of the fun features. We've had him on, I think it's almost been 2 years now, so it's a good time to have him back, talk about what's new and interesting, but get you guys up and running with Ham Radio Deluxe as well. We're going to have a lot of fun. We'll be taking your questions live, and if you didn't catch the comments or the description for this video, you can get 35% off of Ham Radio Deluxe for the holiday season by using HRCC35 in the coupon code, and I have linked the link to it in the video description so you guys can check it out. All right, let me go ahead and hit my little note here to go check out hamtactical.com. You got a week left if you're looking for some ham radio stocking stuffers or some fun merch from the Ham Radio Crash Course. A lot of the stuff we have covers inside jokes from the podcast, and if you're not listening to the Ham Radio Crash Course podcast, I'd recommend subscribing for tomorrow's episode because we're going to be talking about the whole SWAT team situation that went down last week. And so if you're curious what happened there, if you saw my YouTube post that I made a little while ago, well, that's the best way to find out about it is we'll be dropping the video or the podcast, the audio for that tomorrow. So check that out. All right, let's say hi to Michael. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I should correct the chat. I didn't get swatted, but the SWAT team did get called on a house down the street from me last week. It was a carjacking turned into a barricaded suspect situation. So we'll
wow, seriously?
Yeah, it was down the street about 7 or so houses from mine. It was pretty intense. But hey, that's not why we're here today. How are you? How are you, Michael? We haven't talked in a little while. What's been going on?
Well, oddly enough, last night there was a commotion outside our house in our quiet little Dallas suburb of Salina, and I went out, to see what was going on, and there was a fire truck going down the street with Santa driving it.
Oh.
And it was dark, so it was probably, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something, and, it must be Santa, right? So he's driving down the street, and kids are chasing him. It's dark here, and I think they do this every year, oddly enough.
There was a ruckus outside, you're saying, and the ruckus
was
a
commotion.
Santa. A commotion. Yeah. Well, this is a Patron Picks episode, which means the folks over on my Patreon said, hey, we want to talk about Ham Radio Deluxe. And I thought, well, we should get Michael out here because sure, I can talk about it, but why not just have you on and talk about the interesting new things, right? Because we haven't talked in a little while, but kind of the state of what's up with Ham Radio Deluxe. But I think what we want to do is kind of, I guess, demonstrate a little bit about its function, some of the core features, and then we'll kind of bring everybody up to speed about how to set it up quickly. So if you want to take it away, or is there anything you want to mention before diving in, I think we can just get started.
Yeah, let's do something fun. We did a little bit of this once before, but we kind of happened to jump into it, but I thought it might be more fun. I'm on FT4 on 40 meters.
Okay.
And I'm Whiskey Alpha 9, Papa India Echo, and I'm going to start calling CQ. And let me share my screen here.
Yeah. Oop.
So long as the you know the the demons that always come up when you're doing like remotes and demonstrations, so long as that all behaves, then we're in good shape. But if anybody wants to work me, you can come over to 70475 and FT4, and I'll just
I'm,
kind of talk through what's going on and see
I
if
might just try and
anybody
do that
comes.
while we're,
Here
we're
we go. Here
hey,
we
it's
go. Now I
already
got.
happening, already going.
Is that wasn't you though? So anyway, over here, so what you're looking at is Ham Radio Deluxe logbook, and I got this red line, and I just put him in the log there. So I'm going to pull over. This is kind of fun. So Josh knows this, but I'm working with a 49-inch screen, which makes sharing the screen kind of challenging sometimes. So anyway, um, we're going to call CQ again. And so anyway, I'm able to share a portion of my screen. And if you've ever heard of remote ham radio,
Hmm.
these guys are great. So I give a little bit of a bit of a plug for them. When we go to Hamfest, we don't take live radio gear with us anymore, but we do use remote ham radio, and it allows us to access a live radio remotely. So this is a Flex 6400 that's located in New England somewhere, and this is what I'm working with. So if you happen to see me on the air right now, that's where I'm at. So someplace up in New England, it says Morse in W2, so whatever that is. But these guys are great. They've got a lot of radios here. I'm happen to, there's probably, I don't know, 20 radios here. And it's basically there's an annual fee. I think it's $99, and then you have per minute rates or something that I think is what applies here. So here's NV0E. So anyway, this is what this application is. This isn't ham radio. This is remote ham radio. So I'm going to move this over here and get it out of the way.
Yeah, so tell me what's going on here. So you got this HRD alert screen there in the bottom, and it's like, is that an update for your log, or is that actively tracking the WSJTX?
It is actively tracking the decode. So right now I'm not using WSJTX at all, although I do quite often.
Oh, wow.
Um, This is what's called the remote ham radio console. So you see this in the upper left of the screen here.
Hmm.
And basically it connects to a 6400 on the back end, and it gives you a waterfall of what you're seeing on the air. And they have the ability to decode signals found in the waterfall.
Okay.
Here's another station calling me. I'll call him. So right now I just basically clicked on that one, but you can see over here in HRD alert, which is what this screen is down here. So I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't really need to have it in front of me right now. But kind of like you would see with WSJTX or JTDX or MSHV or whatever, it's basically sending all of the decodes into the screen.
Hmm.
And then in real time, it's going to tell you whether or not you need this country by band or mode, whether you need the grid, U.S. counties, which is kind of cool. There aren't that many applications on the market that actually help you track U.S. counties. I'm going to pull this over just to show you. Once it's done, it asks me to log it, and I'm going to hit the log it. You'll see it show up at the top of the screen.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when it does that, it's going to go and do a lookup on the call. So you can see, what his name is, where he's located. He's in DuPage County, Illinois. Yep.
Hmm.
Been there many times. And now you can see somebody's calling me. This is a W7GEZ. I'm going to turn the filter to just show the stations that are calling me.
Hmm.
So I've had a few stations call me here, and this column over here where it says before,
Hmm.
this tells me whether or not I've worked this call sign on this band and mode before. And so you can see there's a couple X's here, There's a few yellow yield signs. And the difference is the X means I have not worked them on this band or mode and band and mode before. And the yellow yield sign tells me that I have worked them on this band and mode, but I've not confirmed them. And once I confirm them, it will show up as a green check mark. I might
Now,
be able to go
that's a
ahead.
good that's a good question to go along with that. So confirming, right? So you're in your logging application, so you can confirm via QRZ or LOTW
Yep.
directly. Does it do it when you're making a contact or after, or how does that all get pushed?
It will do this in real time for everything except for Logbook of the World.
Sure.
And the owners of, or the people running Logbook of the World don't particularly want real-time uploads. They've told us they don't. I know some applications do it. We're going to change the behavior of this button so that when you click the button, you won't have to select the ones you want to upload. You just click the button, and the ones that haven't been uploaded will just upload. So, but that's as close as probably we're going to get with real-time uploads to Logbook of the World. But all the rest of it's there. So you've got QRZ.com. There's hrdlog.net, EQSL, Club Log. I use Club Log pretty heavily. Um, so, and here's another one. I'm going to click log it, and he showed up in the top of the screen. And at the same time, you see the yellow yield sign show up. So
Hmm.
now I've got another guy calling me. I'm going to just double click on it here. I don't have to go over into WSJTX or HRD or remote ham radio. I just double click on it, and it's automatically going to start transmitting to that station. And then if he answers me back, um, then we'll go through the macro set and put him in the log.
That's
Meanwhile, I've
great.
got a couple others calling me, so I'm going to change it back to calling me so I can focus on them.
Ah, there you go. So you can focus it down to kind of the people that are calling you. So that's cool.
Right.
Well, we got some questions coming in, and yeah, everybody watching, if you make sure you put in the word question or at Ham Radio Crash Course so I can see it. Number of things on like getting started, what cables are you going to need and whatnot. We're going to get
Yep.
to that here shortly, and basically for a lot of this stuff, if you didn't know this, USB cables are pretty much what you need now, particularly for the newer radios. But we'll get into that, so hang tight. We kind of wanted to show off some of the fun features. So, all right. So you're killing it out there with FT4 without having to really navigate away from the primary Ham Radio Deluxe application, which is pretty
Right.
nice. Yeah.
And I've got, some of the people, they're not completing their QSO, and so I'm gonna I just started up another one, but I want to work one because I want to focus our mind and focus our attention on the fact that this B4 column will turn into yellow yield signs over here when we put them in the log. But um, he's given me a +5 over here. You can see that one there at the top,
Hmm.
and then. Meanwhile, when I clicked on it, it put his call over here. It's going to show who he is. Now I'm going to click on it and put it in the log, and you can see all the yield signs that popped up there once I got him in the log, and now I'm giving a CQ. But I'm going to click on the guy up at the top there because he's called. So hopefully he's on your show or listening to the show. But so this is all meant to be able to tell you what you need to work. And if
Hmm.
you're just monitoring the activity on the band or something per se, then you're going to see all kinds of people calling CQ. You're going to see people talking to each other. It's kind of cool. And then one of the things that I think is cool, I'm going to show you if I want to see whether or not, here we go. So this one's going to go in the log, and then we see the other yield signs pop up, right?
Hmm.
One of the things that's kind of cool is if I go up here, I'm going to have to open up my screen maybe a little bit. I want to do a look up on QRZ to see where was that station, and you have to have Google Earth installed. I'm going to drag this over here.
Oh.
So there we go. It's pretty
Oh
cool.
wow. It's home to home there.
Yeah. And you're doing the same thing I'm doing. In other words, you don't put your home address there. You've got your PO box, but
That's right.
um, if I put in your call, give me a call again, because I know it's,
Kilo
it should,
India 6, November Alpha Zulu.
yeah. So if I got Josh there, if I click on this, it's going to take me right over to what your QRZ location is. And if I remember correctly, you've got a PO
It's my
box.
post office.
There you go. I do the same thing. But it's kind of fun. I mean, you put somebody's call sign in, and you basically can, go and figure out what are their working conditions over there. How are they doing? And, but if this is my log up here at the top, by the way, and you can see, and I'll scroll down a little bit, but there's been several de-expeditions on the air lately. So, there's a mixture of FT8 and CW here. There's a couple phone contacts. I don't do a lot of phone anymore because nobody talks to each other anymore. But you can see you can see a lot of FT8 in here, right? So I mean, there are times, probably I probably do a few thousand FT8 QSOs a year.
Oh, wow.
Here's a bunch of FT4. This goes back to May of this year. So for all of that, if you're tracking, awards like DXCC, so here's, this is my log this one. Here's my DXCC report, and if I can look and say, well, okay, I need 4 additional countries because I've worked 336 of them. There are 340. If I double click on this, it's going to show me the ones that I have left. Everybody needs North Korea.
Right.
I can see that, well, I've worked on 80 meters. I've worked 253. I've confirmed 245. I need 8 more confirmations. Here are the countries that I need to confirm. There's 8 of them, of course. If I want to see all the QSOs for those 8, it's showing me that there are 9. So there's 2 with Ogasawara. Anyway, that's kind of, how I chase down my DX. I've also got, I'm doing the CQDX marathon. So for this year, I'm at 239 CQ countries. I can come down and see my zones. If I want to just look for the year, change that. And I've got all 40 zones. So that's going to get me to 279 in terms of marathon points this year.
Oh, that's cool.
Maybe I'll work a few more, but that's how that all works out. So I'm over here. If I look over here, I'm in the DX cluster. The DX cluster was intentional, or the HRD alert was created to look identical to the DX cluster, so it would be easy to go back and forth. I can filter this down to just things that I'm interested in, and I'll give you kind of some background on that. So let's say I want to look at my filter. So because I'm pursuing countries and zones, then I basically have lit those up. So when those 2 buttons are checked and I turn on this filter right here, the only thing I'm going to see are cases where on a particular band, I haven't confirmed it, or on a particular zone, I haven't confirmed it or worked it. So that's what's going on there. And then the same thing applies over here. It's just that right now we're seeing a lot of U.S. stations. So anyway, I'm gonna turn on.
Yeah, let me ask you a question while you got this screen up. Your HRD alert window. How does one pull that up? Oh wait, I just saw it. I just found it.
It's up here. Yeah, up here at the very top. So that's because it's not open by default. So yeah, if you've got that feature, you just kind of boom and it's open.
Excellent.
If I want to see just the ones that are calling CQ, I can do it that way. Sometimes I want to see the ones that are calling CQ, or if they're calling me. So I won't see just people, talking to each other unless I just light them all up like that.
Excellent.
So it's pretty cool. I mean, that's one of the more fun things that I'm doing with it lately. Over here on the far right, just to give, a little bit more context. Here's somebody calling me. And, I'm automatically answering them back. Just like you would if you were using WSJTX or whatever. It automatically answers back. now that they're calling me, I'm going to change that. And you can see he's given me a -8. If I want to see where he is, I can click over here and it's going to bring me over to
Yeah, that's cool.
South Florida.
Hey, there he is. We found him. That's slick. Well, hang tight, everybody, because we're gonna show you how to set that up in a second. So, okay, I get and this is just one part of it, right? Because this is the log.
It's probably about, I don't know, like 5% of it.
Yeah, because you've got ability to control a satellite, radio if you wanted to do that, a rotor control. You have a digital tool as well for doing SSTV and I would call them more traditional modes of digital, like SSTV, PSK reporter, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So how does one set this up? Because it's kind of like a set it up once, and then there's some configuring for settings, but it connects all those things together. So what's the starting point of all this?
Yeah, so when you install it, so I'm going to go ahead and answer this guy, and then I'm going to stop calling CQ because so I can kind of put it. And then if we go into chat later, if we go into Discord, then I'll open that back up. But as you know, FT4 goes a lot faster than
It does.
FT8, so you have to be paying attention.
And there's the rig control screen.
here's the rig control screen, and basically, I'm going to expand it out so all the buttons are kind of there. But one of the questions we get most often really is has to do with, how do I connect my radio? And if you were, the last time you bought, let's say, a printer, you hooked up the same cable, the same USB cable to Windows, and Windows said, "Oh, hey, Josh, you just connected an HP LaserJet, 4200. Would you like me to configure that for you?" And you say, "Why, yes, I would. Please have at it." And then so it gets the drivers installed, and you're good, right? The only radio on the planet that does that really is a Flex. So everybody else, even if they have a USB connector on the back, there's always some extra steps, and that's it. For people who aren't familiar with COM ports, that's one of the most common questions we get. So let's talk about that for a minute. And for reference, because I test a lot of radios here, I've got pretty much every Yaesu made in the last 15 years. I've got a 5000, a 3000, a 101 MP. I've got an 891. I've got an FT710. I've got an FTDX10. I've got a 991A. I think that's pretty much what I'm sitting on now. I've got a few that are still in the boxes. I've got a Flex 6400 and a 6300 here. So just all that to say this, I'm going to pull up a website, and give me 1 second. So whenever you install, when you want to connect a Yaesu radio, for example, you're always going to have to go and find the driver for Windows. And if I go through I'm gonna go ahead and log in. But you don't. If you create an account and you want to log in so you can keep track of your purchases, that's the way to do it. Just for fun, I'm going to go to the 991, and here where it says New Files, if I click here, it's going to take me to this page. It didn't necessarily take me directly to the files. I click on Files, and I'm going to scroll down, or I could search the screen. But basically, what you want is this down here where it says Virtual COM port driver. So I want to say probably 80% of the time when someone calls and says, "I can't get connected to my radio," it's because they haven't installed the software from the manufacturer. So the Yaesu one's kind of nice because Yaesu's driver will create two virtual COM ports. I'm going to drag. So what I did here was I brought up Device Manager, and if I come down to COM ports, you can see, because I've got a lot of radios connected, the two flex radios are up here at the top, and then each one of these radios that I've installed, frankly, you only have to install the driver once, because I think the driver is the same for every
Yeah.
Yaesu radio. So you install it once, and anytime you connect another one. But notice that it creates a something called an enhanced COM port. So look at 10, and then it creates a standard COM port. Look at 9. So those are a pair. 9 and 10 are a pair, and they happen to be associated with the 3000 that I've got over here. So I'm going to disconnect from the 101. I'm not going to turn it off.
Let me
And then
answer 2 questions real fast in the chat. So, super chat from Richard Vincent: Can FT4 be used with the Ghost protocol? I'll answer your question that I'm pretty sure that you have to use something like what is it? JS8 call would be the mode, or something that isn't that just traditional contact making. So no for the Ghost protocol on that one. And then Chris, just Chris, what cable do we need? So it depends on your radio. So you have to.
I might have one sitting here. Hang on a second.
But generally, you need a USB A to a USB B cable, and once you have that, that's usually what you need. It's the printer cable. It's the square USB cable, USB B as it's called.
I thought I had one sitting here, but actually.
Yeah, so that's usually what, and when we say usually, if you're buying a radio that was made in the last 5 years, HF radio, that's what they generally will take. Is
I'm going to hold one. I'm going to hold one up just in case. So this is a
little hard to see because you're in share mode, but I think everybody knows.
So it's basically the same cable you would get if we're installing any kind of a printer.
Yep, printer cable. Yep.
It's funny because I went out and bought a bunch of them from a wholesaler, because we get asked for them at Hamfest. So I went out and bought a bunch, and people come up and say, "Do you have a cable for a Yaesu FT DX3000?" Yeah, we got one of those. $5. Do you have one for a 991A? Yeah, we got one of those. $5. I mean, it's all the same. It's all the same cable, right? So some of the other ones, like for example, I've got an FTDX 5000 here, and the 5000 doesn't have a USB cable on it. It's got a DB9, kind of the old serial cable types. And for that, if you don't have a serial connector on your PC, which no one does anymore, you need to get what's called a serial to USB adapter. So basically, on one end, it's got the 9-pin connector that goes into the radio. On the other end, it's got a USB connector that goes into your PC. But that cable will have a driver that needs to get installed, because when it gets installed, it creates a virtual COM port. If you want more detail, I go into this COM port thing pretty extensively on our YouTube channel. So if they ever want more information, so I go like stem to stern on COM ports and virtual COM ports, and it's youtube.com/Ham Radio Deluxe if you want more information. But so I've got this 3000, and it's on COM 10. So we talked about COM 10 a while ago. This is the enhanced port right here. And I'm going to click on connect. And when I click on connect, it's going to connect to, I promise it will connect to the 3000. But you know how it is. We're doing
how it is. You're live right now, Michael. You're live.
Exactly.
Of course. So the key points there is, notice the baud rate. The baud rate is sometimes the sticking point with your radio.
See what happens? It changed the COM port.
Yeah. So. The COM port. So 2 things you generally need to get CAT control, which is a computer assisted terminal, is what CAT stands for, is you need to know that COM port. So make sure you got your device manager open on Windows.
I'm going to
set the right port, and then make sure you have the baud rate. If you don't know, it's often good to start at 9600 and then kind of go faster from there. Is usually
And you can, in our software, you can set it to auto detect, and you can also do that for the COM port. But right now I've got, as you saw, probably 16 COM ports active, and that wouldn't be a lot of fun. But finally I did set the correct COM port for this now, so it'll connect straight away. And then in the radio, I just went into every radio, the modern ones, with USB connectors on them, you basically have to go into the menu somewhere and set the cat baud rate, which I've, to your point, Josh, yeah, they usually get defaulted to the lower amount.
Yeah.
Start there. I have no idea what that was. Something just crashed into my door. I don't know
You're
whether
good. You're good. We're rolling with it.
So anyway,
I
here
didn't
we
even
are.
hear it.
I've got the proper COM port set up. I'm going to click connect.
You're having your own
and
SWAT team
boom.
situation at your house.
I know, right? So now I'm just going to spin the knob on the radio, and you can see how it follows the radio. So basically,
that was it. So you're connected.
Since all the applications are internally integrated, you don't have to worry about, I got to figure out how to make, somebody's rig control program work with somebody else's logging program, and then sort out how to make that work with, WSJTX or whatever. I mean, if you notice, when I turn this knob on the radio over here, it's also going to change frequencies over here in logbook. If I click on 20 meters, it's going to change it to 20 meters. I could go to the subband VFO and change that as well. If I want to change, it's kind of cool. If I scroll it, I use my scroll to do that. Or if I just basically want to put in, 740, it's going to go straight to whatever you entered. Kind of cool. I mean, and if you got lots of radios, I'm going to connect to, this is
literally the man said he has every Yaesu radio, and I think I saw
basically
quite a few Yaesu radios there.
So this is the 991 I got active right here, and I'm going to then leave that connected, and I'm going to also connect to the FTDX10. So now I'm going to see that in a separate tab.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, he's got a tab up there for each one.
Now I'm scrolling the FTDX10.
I never thought of having multiple radios connected. You'll have to tell me why you would do that. I guess if you have multiple antennas and they're
exactly
different
that
bands.
Exactly that. So you may have one. I've known operators of, this radio is my, 80 and 160 radio. This radio is my 40 meter radio, and this one is connected to my, 10 through 20 meter beam or whatever. And that's kind of, and then if you want to be able to listen to them all at the same time, you kind of have them going that way. And then over in logbook in the radio pane, you can just decide to, well, I'm going to disconnect from the 991 and I'm going to connect the FTDX10. And so now I've switched radios there. And then now if I'm rotating the FTDX10, we're going to see that changing up there in the VFO window. If I were to go over here to, say, for example, I actually do want to work this guy because I need, there's one zone that I need for 80 meters.
I like
so
it. All live stream must stop. We got to work this guy.
Well, the last time we did this.
I'm with it, man. I'm with it. I'm down.
There was exactly that. There was somebody operating, and I, oh, Josh, I need this country right here. So, off we
fill
go.
Dead air. Josh, fill dead air. Stall.
No, I am actually.
Well, that's perfect. I can answer Chris. If you go ahead and make that contact.
I'm actually going to go and see if I can hear him.
USB-A to USB-B will work on the FTDX10. Yes, sir. That is exactly what you need, actually. So, yeah, that's exactly
that is
right.
it. That is exactly it. So I came over here to 80 meters on remote ham radio.
Now you're getting serious if you got to go to 80 meters to pull out that FT8 contact.
I'm gonna disconnect this just to make the frequency work out correctly over here.
See, we're seeing live. See, this is live ham radio we're doing right now.
He's
hunting a needed call. I'll get
so when I double clicked on this spot, you can see that it automatically changed the frequency here. So that's the DX cluster. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to clear all this because I only want to see this one guy, right? And see if I can hear him.
Yeah.
We'll see if it works out.
How do you filter on? Oh, you're filtered on just him now. You're waiting to see if
I
he pops
am
up.
filtering on. No, I cleared the screen because I want to clear it of the ones that I had seen earlier. Over here in the DX cluster, I'm filtered so that I only see zones and countries that I want or need. And then we're going to see if we see it. If he's operating, we would actually see this come up in red. It would be highlighted just like these one. It's kind of it's either red or it's maroon or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I might not hear him. If I don't hear him, I'll just move on.
That's awesome.
So anyway, I mean, I don't remember what country it was the last time we were doing this, but
like
yeah,
Zambia.
Something popped up and I was like,
I remember yes.
I gotta have that one, you know. So stand by. But no, if I don't hear him, there it is. See it?
Oh,
right
yeah.
there. So I'm gonna double click this, and then just so that I can get to where his calling frequency is, and I'm gonna wait for him to finish this one up. Now I'm gonna change this filter. And now he's the only one I'm going to see.
Awesome.
And
okay, amp's going on, guys. Everybody, hold on. Hold on to your butts.
Because
this is like the most realist demonstration that we could do. You're like, wait, I gotta get this guy, Josh. We gotta hold on, and you hunt him down. And this is perfect because literally you're using this to fill out your log to get some of the needed contacts you have, if you're so inclined to do that, or just find cool DX, and that's exactly what this is. A cool DX showed up on the cluster. We did that a little fast. We'll unravel that when we're done here.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so if the guy calls me back, we'll talk about how we got there. Meanwhile, I guess one of the things to say while this is progressing, and we'll see if I actually get him, but the logging program will not only show you what you need, but under certain circumstances where you get to decide, it will alert you. It'll alert you visually. That's why it's maroon colored. It'll alert you audibly. So I don't have it turned on, but it would say RV0 AR is on 80 meters or whatever, and would tell me that I would need it. So I could hear this from across the room or whatever. I can have it send a message to my phone. I can have it send me a text message through email. I've actually had cases where I've been, in the office. This is many years ago when I had a mobile station that was pretty good. It would text me in the office, and that's when I would take my my quick morning break to go out and
I love it. Yeah.
work a station that I need. But I'm going to be disappointed. So here's the deal. I've got there are 40 zones, and in 5-band worked all zones, I've got 40 times 5 is 200. Mm-hmm. I've confirmed 199.
Oh my goodness.
200, right? So this is if I can work this guy, this would be zone number 200. Now they'll give you a 5-band worked all zones award if you work like 190 or more. It's not 175. I can't remember what it was, but I want the 200th one, right?
Of course. Why would we do it?
I want.
We wouldn't do it otherwise. Well, you know what the secret is now. Anytime you need this rare contact, we just need to do a live stream, and it'll pop up immediately.
Maybe he's watching the show.
Maybe he's watching. He's trying to work you. You're both calling it at the first call. That's why you're stepping on each other. You're not here.
No, that's not happening. But I mean, you can see over here. Meanwhile, there's a guy from Italy calling me. He's called a couple. There's a German station that's called me. So I know people are hearing me, but I'm going to continue trying to see if I can get this guy in the log. But it's been, if I'm looking at the clock, the last time we heard him was 13:36. That was about 3 minutes ago. So I'm going to stop calling him here after this one, and then life goes on, right?
Have to wait for the comeback on that one. So okay. Going back to where we were at, we got a radio connected to Ham Radio Deluxe on your computer, and they're going to see this as the first screen, which is the radio control, and this is literally basically the full radio control. So all the features that you might want to turn on, your notch filter, your noise blanker, all that stuff, as well as frequency controls, all there if you needed to use it that way. But then this is
The nice
yeah.
thing about that is, I mean, I've got ICOM radios over here as well. I've got a 7300 and 9700. I've got the Flex. I've got all these Yaesu radios, but a lot of people ask me, when are you going to make the software look like the radio? We're absolutely going to do that. Absolutely going to do that. People want it, but I like this screen because regardless of whether I'm on an ICOM or a Yaesu or a Flex or whatever, all this stuff is exactly where I expected it to be, and I don't need to go, through the menu of the radio. I mean, even if we made the radio or the software look like the radio, I'm imagining you're still gonna poke your way through the menu to get there.
Right.
So this is nice. I mean, I've got the audio turned down. If I turn it up, you're not going to hear it. But you're not going to hear. I've got the thing muted.
Yeah.
But anyway, a lot of people, ask about, hey, where's the FT710? The commands are identical to the FT991. So I've
Also,
got this.
the FTDX10 is very similar to the 710.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But now I'm on the 710. So scrolling around here.
Where I was going with the main screen is, to me, this is kind of like the hub for your application, right? And if you look just above the frequency set, that's where you see like satellites, logbook, DM70, rotor display, all that stuff are like almost tools within the toolbox, if you will, right?
Yeah.
So you were in the logbook, right? That's the application running behind the main screen.
I'll spend, 90% of my time in logbook. Some people will say, hey, why don't you just sell logbook separately? And the answer is that actually logbook is what we're selling. We're kind of giving the rest of the stuff away for free.
There you go.
Because that's where the value of the program is. So if I click on that, there's one of these bars at the top of all the applications, so you can kind of bounce back and forth between them, which makes it kind of nice. But anyway, I mean, the thing of it is that once you get your COM ports set up, and let me just hit one other topic. So these enhanced ports for Yaesu anyway, these enhanced ports are what you want to use for CAT. The standard ports are usually what you want to use for things like push to talk.
Wow.
So when I'm in DM780, or if I'm going to go into WSJT just for a minute, because this is the next thing that comes up quite frequently, is that how do I configure your software for WSJT? So right now, so I'm just going to show you, because if I go into File, Settings, pull that over here, in radio, it's very important that you set the radio to Ham Radio Deluxe. What trips people up a lot of times is that they'll have this set to the radio. So like instead of setting it to the FT991 or the 710 or whatever, they'll set it to that, and then you've got both programs competing for the COM port, and it doesn't work. So you just need to set this for Ham Radio Deluxe, and then over here, you notice I'm using COM6, and so that's how I'm exercising the push to talk. That happens to be associated with one of the other radios, but I could select, COM9, I think is what it was for this particular radio, which is right here. I could set that, and then that's how that works. But I'm not actually connected. I don't have an audio path to this right now, but that's how you set it up. And if anybody has questions about that, we also have that set up on our YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, so that's a really good point for doing applications outside of Ham Radio Deluxe. Once Ham Radio Deluxe is connected to your radio, you can generally just point those applications to Ham Radio Deluxe, and then it will sort out a lot of the connections for you. So is that how that alert screen is pulling the data, is because it's kind of the go-between between WSJTX?
No, actually, and I disconnected from that radio, so let me get connected again.
Okay.
It's a little different. These decodes that are showing up here, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Was that what you were referring to?
Yeah, I thought it might be from that, but because I have not I've not done this, so this is all new to me. I haven't been using the alert screen to the fullest
Um,
capabilities.
We'll go back to 40 meters FT4, and then I'm going to clear all this. Now I'm tuning the radio. Actually, I'm just going to go to FT8 because
Sure.
a lot more activity over there. So, but I'm tuning a different radio than what I'm looking at right now. So I'm going to come back over here just to make a match, and I'm going to go to 40 meters, and I'm going to put in 074. Oops, I was over too far. 74. There we
There
go.
you go.
So the software like WSJTX or this one, which is what I'm using here, will actually send send those decodes over IP to the application. So it's not part of the rig control connection, if you will. It's not even part of the audio connection to the radio. Because
how do you set that up? Since this is the right time to
yeah,
show me, let's just do it
sure.
live because I'd love to do it.
So that's configured under, sorry, let me go to, this is under the options for HRD alert. So let me go there again. So first of all, I'm in the HRD alert screen. I'm going to click on options, and then I'm going to go to multicast. So you can turn on the multicast if you have, this is for cases where if you have, if you're using WSJTX and you're using Grid Tracker and you're using JT Alert and you're using our program, you would need to enable this multicast. But without it enabled, it's just going to be configured to take all the decodes from whatever program you're using. If I enabled this, it would break it.
Oh, okay.
So that you just need to make sure that all of the that the multicast is turned off unless you need it. But the other thing you need to do if you're in WSJTX, so that's probably the more common use case. So let me go over here. In settings under, I think basically,
is it under reporting?
That's for oh yeah. So basically, you would have these. Well, that's actually for logged contacts.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's been a while since I think.
No, it's just such a slick thing that you did. I was like, oh man,
somebody in chat might actually know where I should be looking over here. But most of these things, I think you have to enable the UDP server piece down here. See where it says 23 or 2237? I think that's what needs to be enabled. So 2333 is for logging, 23 or 2237 is for HRD alert, or it's basically it sends the decodes over. And right now I'm doing that out of this program. And so somewhere in here under tools, console settings, somewhere it will do basically the same thing. I set it up a while back, so I'm probably not going to find it. But
yeah, so in my case, so I will, if you don't mind, I'll show this for a second.
Absolutely.
So I did this because I am a multicast user because I use Grid Tracker. So I hit options, which is right above my head. I'll pull the options up really quick.
I did find it.
And I'll come back to you in 1 second. So I was at 2236. I needed to be 2236 because I'm using 36 instead of 37. And now look at they all started popping in. And under WSJTX, hey, look, I'm running enhanced mode. Thanks, Mike, K8MRD. Let me go to that setting here. So I just made sure my UDP port matched. So it's 2236 right now and accept UDP connections. And so that's working. So, okay, show yours now.
Yeah, so do I have to reshare? Oh, there you go. So basically over here in remote ham radio, I have this set up to, this is for logging, so this is the 2333, and then this is for the decode broadcast at 2237.
Nice.
So
Okay, got it.
but every program, regardless of what you're using, it could be, you know, WSJTX, it could be JTDX, it could be MSHV or whatever. They're all going to have that setting in the program somewhere, and you just need to make a match. That, which is one of kind of, you know, it's one of the people will say sometimes will say that this stuff is complicated. And I don't think our software is complicated, but when you start trying to connect multiple different applications that are made by different authors and get them all to talk to each other, everybody does things slightly different, and you just have to kind of figure where the screen is to configure whatever it is you're trying to get done.
I wouldn't say it's complicated, but there is a lot there because it does a lot. And
Yeah.
you got to put your mind into what you're doing. Otherwise, it's not going to make any sense. When I envisioned this live stream, we weren't talking about you being on yet. I was going to demonstrate the SSTV setup, which I have done in other videos. But if you don't mind, the DM70 application, I kind of want to show people how to set that up, because that's where you need the PTT connection and you need the audio connection. So this is a perfect example. So he's just going to bring up Digital Master.
So I'm going to whoops, I want to be over here, and I'm going to bring up Digital Master. And so long as, you know, right now I have exactly one radio connected, right? So, and it's this 991 here.
Yep.
So you don't really have to, as long as you've already got the radio connected to rig control over, I want to go to here. As long as it's connected here, you're good to go. In program options, the PTT is here, and you've got choices. You can, a lot of people will say, you know, I'll have, if I select this option here, which is via ham radio deluxe, basically what it's going to do is when it's time to transmit, it's going to send a cat command to the radio saying, put yourself in transmit mode, because I'm going to send some audio. That's what that does. You can set Vox. I've used this quite a bit. I actually use it more often than I use this via him or the commands. This is kind of a depreciated setting here, this data controller, which goes back to kind of the old PK232 SC days. And I think we're going to take that out. And then, you know, I normally use the physical COM port. And one of the reasons I do that is because it's hardware, you know, it's a relay. So it's significantly more responsive than cat commands. Lots of programs use cat commands, but that's the way I'm doing it. So basically, if I come back over here to my COM ports, and first of all, let me go back to the radio. So I'm presently using the 991. Let's disconnect, because I'm going to go to just going to go to the FTDX10, which is on COM 11. So I'm going to start that one.
You're like Batman with all these radios. You're like, I need my bat belt, utility belt of radios here. I'm going to switch to this one. It's more precise.
So that's completely, I got it connected to the radio. And then in Digital Master, I'm going to close out of this, and I can see that because I'm just going to scroll the thing here. So I know I got it connected. I'm going to change to, let's say, I want to set the mode to, let's say, PSK 31, just for fun.
Yeah, now he was in CW, guys, so this does CW decoding as well.
Yep.
If you notice that, that's what he was on.
And it does a really good job.
It does, yeah.
And considering the notion that when it's copying code that's sent by a computer, it's really
perfect.
Good. It's perfect.
Yes.
But human beings don't send code perfectly normally. Yeah. But if you're, you know, it's really helpful in a contest and all that kind of stuff. If I want to go to 40 meters, I just come down here and I'll drop down to the you know, the 40 meter PSK setting. You can see it automatically set the radio to that frequency. If I come back over here to rig control, you know, I'm also going to set the mode to USB because that's how I want to use it here.
Yep.
And I'm going to resend the frequency to it to get back over here. Yep. So now, what's left to do when you launch this, it's going to say, well, here's what your audio sources are. And if you only have one radio connected, it's pretty simple. For me, the last time I did this, I had it set to the DAX ports on the Flex.
Ah, yes.
But if I want to change those, then basically I'm just going to come over to the sound card setting, and I'm going to pick, and you have to kind of know, if you're not going to have so many radios connected, you're going to know which one it is. But um, it would be one of these. It's not going to be the DAX because
That's Flex.
that's Flex, but it's probably going to be one of these lines. I would just set it, and I'll set the same one here for this one, which is going to be one of these speakers. So, it's just, this is, I guess, if there's anything complicated about it, it's just that Windows and the drivers for the radio will never identify the thing well. You can change the names of them, but just for me, I've got so many radios connected at the moment. That's why we're seeing a lot of them. And then if you set the push to talk to the right COM port, whichever COM port you want to set it to, then, you're good to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I think the big takeaway there is you can do, once you click the modes of operation again really quick, since you're in the software.
This guy?
So once you get your PTT set up and your audio, you can do all of these modes through this application, and it will connect to the logger, so you can do the logging. So like when I was doing Hellfest, do you remember Hellfest, guys? I was using the Hellscriber tool within the mode of operation of DM70 to do that. I am going to show people because they're very interested in this, and we're almost out of time. It's amazing how quickly.
Really?
What happened? It's crazy. But here is SSTV, so it's the same thing, DM70 here. So let me pull this up for you.
You better tell them it's DM780, but that's okay, bud.
Oh, did I screw? Oh, it's 780. Geez, sorry. 780, DM780.
I don't know why either. No one's ever told me why.
So I've done SSTV for years, right? And I leave SSTV running in the background, and so I'll take my let's say I'll do my band watch meme that somebody made. And I've got these templates set up to do it. But that's my transmit tab at the top. But if you click webcam, I have a webcam connected. So I've literally, I could take this. So I can go, it should anyway. No, wait, hold on. Where is it? Did I lose it? Oh, wait. Here, let me show you. Come back over here. There it is. Okay, so I want to take this guy and... Yeah, so let me take a picture. He'll take a... So there... You can send that over SSTV.
That's great.
And that's so cool.
That's great.
So this reminds me of like Internet 1.0, right? When people still had those webcams that would refresh every like 60 seconds. Do you remember those days? Like that,
totally.
This is like peak that to me. And so you could do your whole call like this is actually a reply call, by the way. It's the person that would be calling me, and then my DEKI6NAZ. But I can change this, so I can go to templates, and I can make it a CQ call. And let's see, can I do something? Yeah, let's do the completely ridiculous one, and then let's take another transmit. Where is it? Give it a second. Yeah. So that's how I can send my CQ. And these are all editable. That's the coolest part about this. So if you come over here and you go, let's see, go to, I just did this, go to new under file. So you might not see it, but it's under file here. You click new, and let me bring this up so you can see a little bit better. There you go. It gives you this editing tool that you can go in and you can edit to your heart's content all these templates for doing SSTV, which is super fun. If you're not doing SSTV, you got to try it, particularly with Ham Radio Deluxe, because it works really, really easy.
Yeah, so the easy way to get started with that, by the way, is to go to 14230.
Yeah.
Or 14. 225, but I think it's 14230 is where they all hang out. And just
Yes.
go to 14230 and, just like Josh did, turn on the SSTV app and just let it receive. And sometimes it's a lot of fun. I don't know if you've done this, but if you leave it on 14230 just receiving and just go to lunch or go
Oh,
something, come back and you've got
yes.
all these pictures that have been collected while you were gone. It's kind of cool.
That's exactly what I do. You nailed it. So people have been having hard times out there on SSTV. You can see we're getting images, but they're kind of noisy. So
Yeah.
KB9CJR was pretty good, but some of these are pretty tough. But the cool thing is you can have just pages and pages of these images that will be saved on your system, and you can go back and review them. Like this guy was just he was really serious about calling CQ multiple times. But yeah, it's sometimes you got to go through them a little bit, but it's really fun to come back and like see what you've been able to hear out there. There's a Bob Barker one. I love that. That's
Bob
awesome.
Barker.
Yeah. But and then you load all your memes, and so that's the best part about this is you just load your memes, and you can take the template off if you want to. Um, let's see, replace that. I haven't done this in a while, but you can change this to almost anything you want. Make a Linko weird again. Put another ferrite on it, or my favorite, the K6ARK meme. But like that's just wonderful stuff you can do, memeing people online over the air, if you will, using this, which is super
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm showing here, by the way, I went over into Club Log, and so as I made these QSOs a while ago,
Hmm.
you can see they all automatically went
Oh
into Club
yeah.
Log.
I tried to go to Club Log today and the website was down. I don't know what just happened, so I got
Oh,
to
well,
go
that's
log
weird.
back in. But I also try and use Club Log.
By the way,
But
pro tip,
pro
if you go to
tips.
status.hrdsoftwarellc.com,
Hmm.
it will show you the up down status of all those sites. So you got Logbook of the World, their online DXCC thing, which just
Whoa.
recently came back online. You can see Club Log and they're showing that they've been 100% available. Here's EQSL's upload download, and they're at 99.91%. But you can see, so we've got some of our stuff here too. And of course, our stuff is, pretty much always, 4 nines, 5 nines kind of deal. But
I
this
love it.
is my DX cluster WA9PIE-2, which is 100% available. So if you ever want to, if you think, oh, I wonder if this site's down, just go to status.hrdsoftwarellc.com and then you can see,
Oh
and if
yeah.
we're missing,
What's the URL again? Let me grab that for people. What'd
it's
you say?
status.hrdsoftwarellc.com.
Oh geez. Status.hrd.
Software LLC.
Com. Got it. All right. I'm
Did
copying
it
it
launch
for.
for you?
It did. We got
Okay,
it.
cool. So then, back to Club Log, this is like, the ones that I just worked went in automatically. And then over here, I can see under Logbook of the World sent is no.
Hmm.
So I just highlight them just using the Windows highlight by, marking one, hit the shift tab, mark the other one, and then click upload, hit the upload button. A miracle happens, and then all the stuff gets uploaded and it changes the values to yes, and then that's how that works.
So that's how you post updates. Yeah, I'm. I've also heard the LOTW doesn't want the live updates.
Yeah,
QRZ's a lot better with that. It just constantly
yeah,
will do it as long as you have the account. QRZ will charge you
yeah.
for the account.
I mean,
LOTW,
in my
yeah,
QRZ, I probably shouldn't show this because
yeah. Don't bring up your API right now.
it's got
Oh,
my
you
yeah,
just did.
yeah. That was quick, but
Well, maybe people will upload contacts for you. Maybe you'll
yeah,
get your
maybe they will.
your
But
rare DX.
if I go to like I don't know, Club Log, basically,
Hmm.
my email address is in there, but the password is masked. But the button up at the top says every time one's added to the log, send it up.
Yeah.
Same thing for like EQSL. Oh, I don't have it enabled because I like to manage that a little bit more directly. So anyway, that's how that works.
Yeah, so let's take a couple of questions. We got a couple of them we'll go back to. We got Mike Kate MRD in the house, and other people have asked, what's the status of the Mac OS HRD?
Oh, cool. Good question.
Yeah,
What we're doing is
if you want to
we
come at a full screen or a screen share, you can too. I think.
hang on, let me do something
Oh yeah,
though.
yeah. Please,
This
please,
is
please.
I'm gonna go over and hopefully I don't screw up my hang on a second. I'm
You
gonna
lost
bring
your focus
over
though. You
yep,
lost
hang
your
on.
focus.
I'm coming back. I promise. Dance for a moment and then I'll be right back. Um
I'll just be sending SSTV in the background while you're getting my rare DX SSTV contacts.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me put this back over on my screen. So good. And then I'll log in here. So no, that is definitely not the one I wanted. Stand by.
Yep, no problem. So I have HR. So HRD to me is kind of like a central hub-ish type application that you can pipe things like
There we go.
WSJTX through it, and really now with multicast, they kind of communicate together. So if you turn multicast on, you'll be able to do. And literally, I was able. I'm now have my alert set up, and I'm surprised. There's a number of chevrons I'm seeing, a number of stations there's red X's here, right there, that I need
Cool.
to go work on. So all that's like really cool. But over here, look, like grids and all the other different like counties, continents, like all that stuff, prefixes. Like you can go through and hunt whatever you're interested in. You can make your own little challenge sport out of all of this, which is super cool.
Yeah, the county hunters. There was a I
County's
was
big, yeah.
I do a lot of I used to when I was in Chicago, I used to go to um the Northern Illinois DX Association meetings quite a bit, and I love those guys. So shout out to you guys. But one of the guys says, "Man, I want to chase counties. Can you add the counties thing?" And it's hard to do for the DX cluster because we don't do a call sign lookup for every call that comes through the DX cluster, but we can do a lookup for every call that comes through HRD alert because we don't do redundant lookups. So in
Hmm.
other words, if KI6NAZ comes through, we look it up once, and then the next time it's displayed, we don't have to look it up again. We've already got it cached in memory to show it. But what you're seeing here right now, this is version 6.9. So let me talk about this for a second. We've got 5 applications. So you've got rig control, logbook, DM780, rotor control, and satellite tracking. Those are the 5 main applications. They're all being rewritten, and true enough, it's taken painfully long, but it's going to be awesome when it's done. And you're looking at it right here. The database has been replaced. So it was Access, it's now SQLite. But what we've been doing over the
Oh,
course
that's
of the
right.
last, quite a bit,
Yeah.
is basically rewriting the entire application so it has no more Microsoft specific hooks. And developers in the crowd will recognize this, but basically, it was written, it's in C++, it's still in C++, but the visualizations use something called MFC or Microsoft Foundation classes. What you're looking at right now has no MFC in it. So this is all Qt, which is cross-platform. So literally, Logbook today will run on an iPad or a Mac or Linux or whatever.
Wonderful.
So, but we won't release it until we get all 5 of the applications written. So when I say we won't release it, we won't release the Mac version. Um, but the cool thing is that, I found the way we were doing these, kind of, have I worked this station or country before? It was kind of cryptic to look at. So now we've got them more in kind of a leaderboard kind of fashion. So if I come down here, well, first of all, I can see that I've confirmed this particular station, G0OIL. I've confirmed it on 40-meter digital. I've confirmed it on 6-meter digital. If I come down here to look at the country, you can see that all the green check marks means that I've confirmed that country. So if I go out to 10 meters, for example, I've confirmed it on 10, I've confirmed it on, 10 meters CW, 10 meters phone, 10 meters digital, and so on. I've worked but not confirmed them where the yellow yield signs are. And if I want to see the iota is down here. If I go and click on a different one, so for example, if I click on this one, it's going to do a lookup. Here's his station information and so on. If I go in and I put in, I can manually type it, Z, but there, look,
Hey,
that guy looks familiar.
look at my dumb hat.
I've actually worked you on 20 meters digital too. You haven't confirmed it with me though.
What? There's no way.
I know. If you would please do that, then it'll show up as a green check mark.
I did on QRZ. Are you pulling?
Okay, that's probably, so that's a good point. I mean, you can select under that's not where I want to go. I want to go.
Oh, let's see if we can make that chevron a check live here, because I just pushed. I paid my homage to QRZ, so I've got a new license here. So I pushed all my updates.
I want to see what I've selected for work status indicators, because over here, okay, well, if it's on EQSL, it would show up. But I'm not pulling in the QRZ confirmations yet, so I'm gonna do that. But
man, you're making me have to go check my
but
EQSL.
if it happened and it did it in real time, then it would definitely turn into a green check mark.
All right, I don't have EQSL connected, and my LOTW, I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, let's pretend here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look up your call,
okay.
and I'm gonna I6 Nass, and there you are. Let's say, for example, I just double clicked on this. Let's say, for example, that over here in EQSL that you, there we go. Now, if I click update, it's reprocessing the cache, and now it's a green check mark.
We just jammed a penny in it. I will have to update. I will do my EQSL job. I have not uploaded to EQSL in, it feels like, years now. I'm not not the biggest fan, but yeah.
Basically, if you are, and this works the same way in the current version, is that if you do your download from one of the sources and you've selected that to be your confirmation types, it'll automatically update.
Love it.
So yeah, pretty cool.
All right.
But yeah, this is what we're doing, and it's wonderful. I mean, it
looks great. I mean, this is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be awesome.
I love the concept. I mean, this is way forward thinking down your roadmap probably, but I love the idea of potentially being able to have an app that can like sync to my home, because now that I've got the Flex, and I don't necessarily want a computer connected to my Flex. I just want the information to be pulled from like QRZ and all that stuff. And if I'm making contacts on my phone or my iPad or whatever, that I could pull up HRD and be like, boom, it's already there. Like there you go. That's pretty cool.
There's me.
There it is. Look at that.
So, yep. I mean, it's not going to be too much longer. I mean, we basically, the band map piece that's over here on the right, that needs to get finished up. And there's a couple things about awards tracking that we want to finish up. But those are the two things that are left. All the rest of it is ready to go. I mean, I don't want to take up too much time with it, but I mean,
we haven't even gotten to the rest of the questions yet. This is just the first one.
We've changed. I mean, I thought it was annoying to have to go to several different places to see confirmation status. So
sure.
All that stuff's going to be on one tab. All the uploads are going to be on one tab. There's POTA and SOTA.
Oh, cool.
And worldwide flora and fauna that, are going to be directly tracked in the application. So that's all the cool stuff.
I do like this little grid that you have for the different bands and where you've how you've made contacts. That's super slick. So I like that a lot. So good stuff. Well, there you go, guys. There's the road, or a idea of what the future roadmap's going to look like. So that's awesome. So back right in the beginning of the live stream, Don N5SKT asks, when will TCI support be available? So I don't really use TCI. What is TCI?
Yeah, so we get that question every time. And
it's probably from Don.
Thanks for the question. There is a someone wrote in and asked us about this. There's an internet source that shows how to get that stuff configured. So it works today. I just haven't done it. I can probably post the link for that someplace that you can repost it if you want to. But beyond that, when we rewrite rig control, then we'll have that kind of out of the box. But for right now, there's other instructions for getting it working.
Mm-hmm. And then David Bruce, this is a wild idea. I never even thought of this. Asks, can HRD automatically transfer logs to another logbook? Can you push logs to another logbooking system? I think he said earlier.
Actually,
N3FJP was, I think, the one.
I'm going to get off of sharing that one, and I'm going to share, the current version because I've probably
I don't even know why you'd want to do it, but at the same time, like
a lot of people do actually.
What's the use case? Like if they're going to go portable?
In some cases, people want to log to multiple logbooks for some reason because they like the look of the data in one. In some cases, like for example, if you were tracking counties, and you wanted to track counties, you use our logging program because it does a great job of tracking counties. But if you've happened upon the really strange, outlandish thing that somebody else's does that ours doesn't, then you might want it to simultaneously log to both logging programs. But right after you do that, please send me an email and tell me why you needed to do that, and I'll get it added. But if I go up here to I'm going to go to the tools menu. Where am I? Options. Nope. I want to be over here. Configure. I'm back down to the QSO forwarding, and see where it says UDP send here.
Ah, okay.
So basically, what it's going to do is automatically send QSOs off to another logbook. That's what this says. Now I don't do it, and it says right here. It says N1MM is on port 12060. This down here in the lower section, this is for receiving QSOs for N1MM. But this is for, and you just have to, if you're trying to send it off to a different logging program, just find out what their port number is. And a lot of programs actually use the same one that N1MM does, but this is where you would set it. So one more time, that's under Tools, Configure, QSO Forwarding, and it's under the Forward Logbook Changes to using UDP to another logging program. That's how you do it.
There you go. Let's see. A couple of other ones we got here. Dr. Mike, can you make one-click update to various online logs?
So let me hit that holistically. First of all, things like Club Log, QRZ, EQSL, HRDlog.net, all those things are going to upload automatically. But as you saw a while ago, I shut all that stuff off. What's going to happen is there'll be a button that'll show up here that'll replace the logbook upload and download, that where you could set it to. Was the question about uploads or downloads? I'm going to hit it both.
No, I think you nailed it, because the reality is that almost everything is upload automatically. If you've gone through the process of configuring it, it will upload right after you make the contact.
Right. But
it's only LOTW that is unique that way.
Yeah, and let me tell you why I don't like automatic upload.
Oh, okay.
If I'm in here, let's say for example, and I'm not going to create the QSO just because it's a pain to correct it, but let's say I go, W1, let's say I work W1AW. But notice how I didn't type in W1AW, I typed in W1AV. Let's say I made a mistake. If I save that into logbook, if I save that into logbook of the world, you can't remove it. The only way you can get that QSO in is if you come back into the QSO and you correct the call sign and upload it again. For this reason, I don't like the automatic upload. But one of if I wanted to turn off automatic upload for all these, then what I would do in return is I would just have a button here that says upload all.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. Yeah, I would just click that button and it would upload to all. So let's say that I know just a while ago, because I had all these QSOs that I'd made earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that I didn't have the automatic uploads turned on for QRZ.com and EQSL and ClubLog, because I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to correct them before they got uploaded. Then I would just have that button there that's just going to basically upload all the ones that hadn't already been uploaded. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's what they're looking for,
including Logbook of the World. So, and the same thing with the downloads. I mean, once we do the uploads, the downloads will both, work the same.
Oh,
and then I may even get rid of these buttons. I don't know, but we'll have just one button for uploads and one buttons for downloads and be done with it.
Oh, so you're saying that it's going to be in the new version?
It's my intention.
Oh, wow.
It's not there right now, but that's in the specs for 6.9.
It's on the roadmap, guys. It's on the roadmap. All right. Andrew Armstrong, congratulations. Passed their test today, upgraded to general at the Tampa Bay Hamfest. Thanks for everything you do. Hey, thank you, buddy, for watching.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, we're not doing the podcast. I don't have the audio board set up, but very good. Excellent. So John Sherrill, I know this is an easy one. This is a slam dunk. Can I import my logs from QRZ or LOTW in to Ham Radio Deluxe?
Yeah, so the answer is yes, but yeah, I mean you can import logs here from anywhere. So if I come over here to logbook, file, import, ADIF, you can import logs from any program that you got them from. So if you go in and you export your QRZ log, you can import it here. If you export your club log, you can, wherever you export it from, you can import it. Specific to Logbook of the World, they don't make it easy to download your entire log.
Right.
And if I go back to a note that I got from them many years ago, they said, well, Logbook of the World isn't a backup platform.
Yes.
If you just do the downloads, like I'm going to hit the download button here, and I'm going to take the date back a little bit. I'm going to go back a week, so I know I'm going to get some records. But I click download. It shows me I've had 12 confirmations. In the Logbook of the World download, it's only going to give you confirmations because it was intended to be a electronic QSL platform. It wasn't intended, despite its name, it's not a logbook. Now, if you're crafty and you go out searching the internet, you'll find that there's a kind of a backdoor way to export all your Logbook of the World QSOs. One of the authors of Logbook of the World put this together, and I can't remember his name. It's been so long since I've done it. But if you go out and say, look, if you do a Google search for how do I export my entire log from Logbook of the World, you'll probably find it. But again, any ADIF that you can come up with from any source, you can absolutely import it.
Love it. This is a good one from Cam. Says something critical for streamers and creators would be the API hidden by default. Can we get that?
Explain that to me, Josh.
Well, so just like you did when you pulled up QRZ and it showed the API, like maybe
Yeah.
hide that, like or make it dots until you click the little eyeball and then it shows you the number. Because
Okay.
when I do videos and I'm live streaming, I'm trying to show people how to do something. Sometimes I'm not thinking about like all that stuff, and I'll just drop all my info like right out there sometimes.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we do.
I gotta watch myself.
You'll see that on like Club Log, for example.
Mhm,
That's why these guys are dots.
Right, because that's a proper password. But the API on QRZ is just
Yeah.
give me the number,
Yeah.
and I'll just take whatever you send me. They don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we do the same thing for if I go to License Key Manager. It's going to go out and bring. This is
Oh
my
yeah, so
license.
same concept. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
do the same thing with the API.
So it's mask.
Yeah, that's if you could mask it, that'd be
Interestingly enough, you can go in here and you can see what features you have enabled.
that'd be
Um,
great for me.
we grandfathered them all, several years ago. So there's the three that since we grandfathered them that are in there.
Now we got a question I remember from the beginning. The very right side of the screen with all the call signs stacked vertically that's coming from the cluster, right? Or is
That's right.
that FT8?
It's coming from the cluster. So
Okay.
it's a kind of a visual representation. Oh no, here's this. Oh no,
Is he
I'm
back?
gonna be
Get him!
no.
Get him! Get him! Mike, get him!
I get it. I get it. But yeah, it's basically you can set this up to where you can have it follow the main band VFO, you can have it follow the sub band VFO, or you can turn off tracking altogether. When I'm expecting a 6 meter opening, I turn off tracking and then I just come down here to 6 meters. There's nothing on there right now. But I just kind of leave it there because if something pops up on 6 meters, I want to see that activity. But
Yeah.
if I just have it follow the main band VFO, you can see the main and the sub here. These are all the people that have shown up on these on DX spots, and I am going to try to connect and see if I can't work that guy or
Get him.
guys. There's a couple of them up there now, and I've been waiting all summer long, as the song goes.
My family keeps coming in and out of the shack here, and they keep leaving the door open.
Tell them I said hello.
Yeah, you were telling me on the start, you're like, I got a ton of family here, and they're going to be loud, but so far it's only been my
Well,
family.
they're such children because they are actually.
Yeah, well, most of it's been my wife, and she keeps letting the dog in, and then the dog starts barking when the dog's in here locked in. It's like, he's not playing with me.
My dog scratches at the door, so
My dog
he
just
lets you know when he wants.
Everybody in our house is loud, and so the dog is just equally loud with the barks. So, so you ready for another one, or are you pulling up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Automatic upload to POTA.app. How does HRD support POTA? Because I saw that too. There's like we talked about POTA a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
What's the thoughts there?
Yeah. So in the gentleman who runs the POTA website, and I don't remember his name, but we've had back and forth conversations, and right now what we've done thus far, I'm not going to go back. Well, yeah, I'll go back and share the. Let me share 6.9 screen. Hang on a second. It says I already have it up. There we go. Now I'm going to share it. So basically, if I were
the new, so we're looking at the new, the
new
upcoming,
version.
yeah.
If I put in KI6 NAS and it looks you up, and let's say that you're at a park.
Oh, okay.
So give me a park name or a park number.
US 1121.
Okay, I'm going to put 1121 here, and it's going to find that park. And there's an Australian one.
Or is it 31?
This is it. Would it be one of these guys maybe? 1120.
It's either maybe try 31. Sorry, I'm getting pedantic.
All right, that's okay. 1131. I could put it in by name too.
Bolsa Chica, there it is. Was that Bolsa Chica? Or did I miss it?
Up at the top? Oh yeah. This one? The second one.
That's not it. Oh man, I can't remember. I thought it was 1121. Okay.
Well, anyway, you're gonna be in Napa Valley, bud. So I'm gonna.
Great. I'd rather be in Napa Valley than anything. Right.
But if I double click that, it'll put the park that you were in, and I save that, and so it'll help me count my, how many parks I've worked and all that kind of stuff, just like it would DXCCs or whatever. If I were activating a park, then over here when I configure my station, it's the same kind of thing. We just go over here to this, and if I put in Acadia, for example, then I'm showing that, yep, I'm actually going to activate this park. So it put in the park number, and so when I uploaded my QSOs to the POTA site, it will show that I was at, Acadia, or whatever parks that I worked, on the air. So we're working all that out, and then we there's some open questions about the upload into the POTA site, because to make a long story short, the legacy practice was to put the park information into some kind of custom defined field or something other than maybe the comment field or something.
Right.
So we want to do it the right way out of the gate, which I don't think was completed on their end the last time I talked to them. But that basically, similarly, there'll be a button for uploading to the POTA pages, and you can, if you wanted to, you don't want to upload everything, so you basically would say, okay, I want to upload, first of all, filter my POTA, to whatever my POTA was, and a 001. And if you filtered your log to just those QSOs, then when you get, I'm not going to, it makes no sense because I don't have any of them, right? So, but if I did, then all those parks or those QSOs would show up, and then I would just basically highlight them all and then upload them to the POTA site. That's how that's going to work.
Okay. The person that's asking, I know they do they are a activator. So what if you have like a forfer, and a forfer's like 4 parks in one location, or a 3 parks in one location? Like,
then that's going to go in your activation. You'll just put the multiple parks into your station, kind of like you would do counties or grids. So
you just like comma separated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could put
NA, my
NA
POTA. Yeah, I see it. Okay, hold on. Yeah.
NA 00, 002.
Or US or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a little right. Oh, sorry.
US is the new nomenclature. Yeah. I realized it was 1141 is the park I was thinking of, but it's okay.
Oh,
that's my bad.
Well, watch this. We'll put in 1141.
That should be Crystal Cove State Beach in California.
Why can't I see it? Do you see it? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, right at the top.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. I like it.
So the cool thing about that is that, I mean, if you know the park number, you just type it in. But if you don't know the park number, and for example, you want to put in, Yosemite.
Yeah, for those watching, yes, indeed, any discount for HRCC folks. Yeah, 35% off. The comment on the pinned chat is HRCC 35 at checkout, or it's in the video description as well and takes you to the link. So, yes, 35% off. There you go. It's very generous. Thank you for that. Let's see. Good question from Jody. On the HRD website, how can we tell when our MTCE expires? Maybe he means license expires. I think
so I'm going to show you. Good question. Let me show you a few ways to do that. The easiest way to do it is to come to Help License Key Manager, and when you click on that, it's going to show you what the date is. There's if you went to our Facebook page right now, so I'm going to pull this up. We'll go to our Facebook page. Of course, I haven't logged in this browser.
Of course not. It's okay though. I mean, if that's
on the group page, which is this one. So there's a post that I put there that I think is really pretty cool. I mean, basically, there was there's pro tips for Ham Radio Deluxe, but that's actually not the one I wanted. Hang on a second. Go back there. And myths busted, right? So it's not sold as a subscription. You're buying a perpetual software license. There are no annual fees. We don't sell versions, so But what he's asking about is what is my new features and support expiration? Because although there aren't any annual fees. We do enable new features by way of the renewals.
Right.
And if you don't want the renewals, you don't buy the renewal, but you keep using the software because since we don't sell versions and we don't sell upgrades, you're always licensed for the most recent version of the software. So you just go and download it. But if you wanted to go into the web page, you can. Let's see if this works. We go into let me do it this way.
Yeah. While he's typing this up, keep in mind with HRD, you can so you pay for a year, and you download all the updates that happen within that year. Then your update subscription, if you will, I don't know if you use a different nomenclature for that, but it basically it ends at that point. If you'd like a newer update, you just pay for another year's worth.
Actually, so that's what I'm trying to correct. So let me
correct. Sorry.
Let me correct you on that.
Please.
So when you buy the software, you get a software license that is perpetual, meaning you will always be able to use the software. And since we don't sell versions, then the key you get with that purchase will activate any current or future version of Ham Radio Deluxe. So if you think about it this way, if you bought the software today and we release a new version 5 years from now and you decide, well, yeah, I'd like to use the latest version, you go and download it. If you're installing it on a new PC, you put in the same activation code and it installs the software. If it's already installed and you're installing it over the top of an existing one, you just install it, and that's how bug fixes are always free. Because if you don't want to give us any money for the renewals, and I'll get to the renewals part in a moment, but if you don't want to give us any money for the renewals, just keep downloading the software. Every time we release a new version, it doesn't cost you anything, and that's how you get the benefit of any bug fixes or minor enhancements. Now, if we release new features, let's say, for example, Josh, you bought it today, you get all the new features for the next 12 months and unlimited tech support from my team. But in 12 months from now, if we haven't given you a new feature that's caused you to decide you want to buy the renewal, then just keep downloading the software, get the new version, get the fixes, get the performance improvements, you're good. But I'm going to try to come up with some new features that you figure you can't live without. And then when you want to buy the renewal, then you buy the renewal. And let's say you bought the renewal 5 years from now. That will catch up all the features that you've missed for the last 5 years, plus the new ones that you wanted to get, plus a year out from when you bought the renewal. Does that make sense?
It does. This is a different structure than you had in the past, right?
No, we've always done it that way.
Okay. So does that mean you're maintaining like two branches? Like you have a bug fix branch?
Nope. That's why we do it this way, because when you so for example, if someone bought the software, let's say 5 years ago, and which would have been 2019, right? And let's say that, at the end of 2019, they didn't buy the renewal. Since then, we have released HRD Alert. They're going to see the HRD Alert button up there, but if they click on the HRD Alert button, it'll say this is beyond your new features and support date.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you want to use this feature, go to this website, buy the renewal, and once you do that, it will unlock those features. Does that make sense?
Got it. Now I gotcha.
So the thing of it is that I don't want to sell the software as a subscription. I don't want people to have to pay for it if we haven't given them good reason to buy a renewal. But I do want them to keep using the software.
Right.
And so we're going to do a combination of performance improvements. For example, the rewrite to SQLite from Access, that's something that we need to do because we want to improve the software. You don't have to pay for that or anything. So if you go into your account at hamradiodeluxe.com and you go to your orders tab and click on that, and you want to see orders over the course of the last, I'm going to say, should show me 6 months.
I'm still seeing your log.
Oh, hang on a second. Stop sharing. Maybe I'll just
But
share
that's
this.
very much a clarification. And no, you did talk about this in the past. Yeah, so you get the bug fixes and the minor updates. It's the major feature sets that change. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
So yeah, so if you go into your account, you can see all your receipts.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of test purchases, so I'm going to see a lot of receipts here. I bought the travel mug.
Well, I hope you have
uh,
some trips planned for that
here's a
wonderful mug.
renewal, and so I'm going to go into this, and if I scroll down, it's going to show me that the activation key ending in, so let's say this was my most recent purchase,
Right.
the activation key ending in has been extended through this date.
Right.
That's the other way you can know what your new features and support date is. But if you just
Got
come
it.
up here and click on, help license key manager, it's going to show it to you right down there.
Okay. Well, that was very helpful. Yeah, very good. All right, Michael, we definitely went over the hour. Uh,
Sweet.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap up here, and we're gonna do a little bit of an after chat, and that's where we take your questions live. We tried to get some questions, but it would be even better if you joined us in voice and
I will do
told
that.
us.
I'm going to grab
Yeah,
I'm going to take a break for a moment.
me
I'll
too
jump
as
back
well.
over
Yeah.
into Discord and we'll have a chat.
Yeah, so Michael, thank you for joining us out here. I'll let you hop off, and feel free to join us on Discord. And if you have a problem, just email me. You've got my email, and we can
Perfect.
talk over there to get you started. But I think you know how to negotiate Discord. Remember, it's hashtag live-stream, and then hashtag live-stream/after chat.
Cool. See you in
Thank
a
you,
moment.
David. Or
All right.
David, I saw Doctor, and I put them all together. Dr. Michael Carper.
Sure.
Thank you so much for being on. Hey, when are we going to see you at the next Hamfest? Are you going to Hamcation?
Yeah, should be at Hamcation.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will see you there then.
Yeah, perfect.
All
Always
right.
good to see you.
Thank you,
See you in
buddy.
a minute.
I'll see you
Bye.
in a little bit. All right. See ya. All right. Very good. So for everybody who's like, what the heck is he talking about? Well, so we wrap up this live stream and we start a second live stream called the After Chat. And it's for you to ask your ham radio questions. Since Michael is going to join us, we will be taking questions about Ham Radio Deluxe. So all these clarifying questions that we couldn't get to, Dawn, I know you got a few of them, so I know I'll see you over there. But a number of you will have further on questions, all that stuff. Link is in the video description to our Discord, but if you don't want to join Discord, that's fine. Just wait for my second YouTube video to pop up, which is going to come in about 15 minutes from now, and then you can just join that, and it'll be live, and we can take your questions again. The focus of the after chats are full questions, all the questions we can do, so make sure to join us over there. Anyway, appreciate Michael for joining us. There is the Ham Radio Deluxe video update, and I've got to say a big thank you to the patrons, because they are the ones that voted for this. And this is every patron I have. In December, I let all the patrons vote for the topic. Every patron voted, or not all of them, but this is all the list of the patrons that I have on Patreon. And all of you, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for letting me do all the fun stuff that we do out here and get me to play with radio and extend our hobby to other people, which has kind of been the focus of my channel for a long time now, is to make amateur radio approachable for as many people as possible, get them started and running, and here and be here every Saturday to answer their questions. And I was just telling Michael before we got started, it's amazing to me that we've been doing this since 2018. I think 2018, 2019, in the after chats every Saturday, and every Saturday I don't think without missing we've had somebody new that had a question. Maybe one. I think there was one time where someone didn't have a question that was brand new to the Discord. That says a lot for our hobby in the sense that it's definitely not dying. It's definitely not going away. It's only stronger. It's only been growing, and I think that it's reaching larger and larger communities, which is exactly what we want. Of course, it is a highly technical hobby, and there are just parts of it that are unapproachable to a lot of people, and that's okay, but it's so big and large, like the TARDIS, it's much larger once you get inside of it, that there are parts of it that will speak to different people that again, we like to use the term, they don't even know their hams yet, right? And those are the people we're looking for. Those are the people we're looking to talk to. So you guys allow me to do a lot of that stuff, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you. Not next week, but the following week, we will be doing our Christmas light antenna video. And yes, I have a design. I'm aiming for the most performance possible this year. I haven't decided if I'm going to go all the way down to 40 meters. I think I probably end up I think I have to, if not 30. I'm thinking 30 might be actually where I make my go, because 30 meter FT8 is actually pretty effective at night. I haven't decided yet. I've got to figure out. I've got a week. I've got a week to figure out what I'm going to do. But I'm going to be tearing up some Christmas lights this week, tomorrow, and getting ready for all that. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, got a minute left on the Patreon crawl here. Again, thank you everybody. I really do appreciate all the support. Reminder, if you are going to join us on Discord, the best way to do that is take the link in the video description, give it about 5 minutes, because we get bot stormed because of all those script kiddies and stuff like that are on Discord. We get bot stormed occasionally, so you need a minute for all your rights, if you will, user rights to appear, and then you go into your Discord, into the settings, and make sure you set a microphone and speaker and a PTT button, because our voice chat requires PTT. Good news is you don't have to do voice if you don't want to. There's a text chat on Discord as well. But between hashtag live-stream in the chat list and hashtag live-stream/afterchat, it is our text and voice chats as well, so that you can follow along and ask questions. And we hope you do. Just remember, if you're going to ask us ham radio questions and you're going to ask us what radio should you buy, the important thing we're going to push back at you is, what is your budget? You need to tell us your budget, otherwise we can't really help you, because we need to know how much you really want to spend. And that's true. Even if it's a low number, it's okay. Just have a number. Have a do not go above number, and that's how we'll go. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. I'm going to wrap things up here, and then I'll be live on the after chat. So 73.